Hello, people. I hope you're all doing well. Salam ya nas. Inshallah intu kwaisin. Stop and for 1 second, just think about what you believe of me. That was a fake accent I just threw there. Yeah, sometimes stereotypes or what we view seems to seem like it's almost the truth, but it's never really the truth. So sometimes you have to put that aside and try to actually know who you're talking to. Let me illustrate how throughout my life I made people rethink how they viewed me. I was born in Sudan. At the age of 2, I moved to Egypt. There, I learned how to speak Arabic and the different dialects that came along with it. At the age of 5, I moved here to the United States. I thought nothing could ever really define me as a person. That was until I really found out that people did label me. Yeah. They thought I would be the person, or, well, let me fast forward on to my life. I wore really amusing clothes, so I wore dashikis and jalabiyas. I don't think any of you know what those are. So you can imagine their faces when I first walked in with a dashiki into my kindergartner class. And then all the other kids are just staring at me like, oh my God, African royalty. And it's just like, no, first of all, I'm not. I really wish I was. But that'd be really, it'd be really amazing. You see, my brother actually took advantage of that, and it worked out really well. Sorry. Time went on, and I started to realize that other people started to start asking really hilarious questions like, does your language have clicking noises like the Bushmen in the movies God Must Be Crazy? I'm like, no, not at all. And the funniest question I've ever gotten was, do you live in a hut? Or have you ever lived in a hut? And I have yet to even see one. So I think that's really amazing, don't you guys? Stereotypes work out really funny because I remember the first year of school and kids just thought I was a regular kid until my clothes. And then I had to change that because I found out what winter was and it wasn't really polite to me. Time went on, it progressed and I started changing. I moved to Kansas City, Missouri, and I started kind of figuring out the norm. So that was flat-billed hats, baggy chinos, large shirts. And then, as I thought I was kind of getting used to things, I moved again to Des Moines, Iowa. The kids there thought I was a thug. I was like, what? I'm only 6 years old. I can't be a thug. So I thought it was really hilarious, guys. And then, to top that off, I thought I was really an ordinary American. My English became clear, and I struggled really hard to make it to actually get English onto the point, because I remember when they asked us what we ate at home, I mixed up acorn with corn, and I was like, yeah, we eat acorns, and the kids were like, ew. Yeah, I was like, yeah, we're not a family of squirrels, so don't worry about that. And then time moved on again, so I moved again to Des Moines, Iowa. Yeah, the kids thought I was a thug, yada, yada, yada. I picked up the trend of clothes that's there. So it was Hollister, American Eagle. It was somewhat of a preppy school. And then I moved back here to Nebraska, right? The kids here are really hilarious. They're like, dude, you're whitewashed. I was like, what? And I had these two extremes where I was a thug and then I was whitewashed. And I thought those were really amazing, guys, because how often are you told, hey man, you look like a thug? And then 5 seconds later you're told, hey, you're whitewashed. Why do you act whitewashed? I'm like, how can I be labeled whitewashed? I found out it was the way that I started dressing, the way I spoke and came out to people. That's the way people labeled me. And I think it made me stronger because I was starting to be proud of who I was, because when you first come to the United States, it's like a melting pot where you're just trying to catch on to every single culture and become an ordinary American. Because I mean, isn't that the dream? To be an American? But yeah, I learned to be myself. And I thought I was finally okay with labeling, correct? And then I went to this leadership economics program at UCLA, and the kids there, we were all like lined up. And then they did roll call. They called Gao by the name, by the way, my name is Go. So they were all looking for an Asian kid, which I thought was really hilarious. I raised my hand, I was just like, here. They seemed to be waiting for like, they all seemed to be waiting for my name to be like Jerome. And I was like, what? and like the funniest part was, it didn't like, that part didn't even faze me. It was just the fact that I told them I grew up in Nebraska. Oh my God, it's just so hilarious because they asked me, do you have electricity? I was like, what? And like some of them were so confused where Nebraska was. Are you guys close to Minnesota, like up there? Are you guys like by Canada? I'm like, no, we're like dead center. Like, have you never traveled there? Well, Chicago, I've been there. I'm like, well, that's right by there. No, I don't think so, is what they told me. I'm like, okay. But I learned to just be myself, guys. Because, I mean, when you choose to label someone, you're choosing smallness over greatness. I mean, I think the campaign last year was like, make America great again. We're not making each other great if we're choosing to label each other. We're just stereotype each other and confine each other in boxes. They kept putting me in boxes like these, and I keep breaking out of them, showing them I'm nothing like that. I mean, who would you be if the world gave you a box to check? Who would you truly be? I mean, you could only be yourself, right? And that's who we should all pride ourselves to be. Rethink how the world views you. Rethink how you're labeled. Don't let it offend you. Find joy in it and laugh. Because I find it really hilarious just telling people, yeah, I built an electric longboard. They're like, what? And I'm like, yeah. And then they're like, you're a nerd. I'm like, okay. But it really just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just the feeling you get of just proving someone wrong. I think that's like the best feeling in the world, and I live for that, guys. So I will go out of my way to meet new people and introduce myself. Sometimes I kind of wear like different clothes to kind of throw them off, you know? And it works most of the time, and I'll throw on an accent. The funny part of actually growing up in Egypt, though, is I picked up an Arab accent, so I could do that really well, and I sound like a cab driver in like New York or something. So I'll be like, I'll say something, and they'll be like, what? They're like, yeah. And it's just like how, I don't know, but I just really hope that me speaking to you about stereotypes will have you guys change your mindsets about how you view people and expect them to be a certain way. Just be you guys. Thank you very much.